Hello all. Today I am going to be working on my slow stitch scroll, and I'm going to be doing these dragonflies, and I'm going to use this variegated thread. I'm going to start it here, but I'm going to a softball game for my granddaughter. And so I will be working on it there, but I wanted to show you guys the beginning so that when I come back I can just update on what I got done and how far I got done. I put the pattern on with a stencil and chalk. I just pounced on some chalk. I'm thinking the first thing that I will do is some sort of stitch on the edge. I don't really know very many edge stitches yet. So my choices are look up one or do what I know, which is a blanket stitch. I think I might look up one. So I'll be right back. Okay, I just reached in my little drawer and pulled out the Antwerp edge stitch. This is a printout from Practical Embroidery. She shows it in the fabric, but I'm going to do it on the edge. I have to remember I need to come up on the edge, but I can't really do that. So I'm going to come up right here. And I'm going to go around the edge, which I don't think is correct. Also, she shows it down, but I don't think I can do that. So let's get this around like that. Well, that's a pretty bold stitch. Do I want to be that bold? I'll be that bold. And then I will just bring my dragonflies over the top. I probably should have done this in a different color. That's okay. I cut this for doing the dragonflies, which is really long. Okay. I'm going to ignore that. First stitch. So first you do a regular blanket stitch. It's going to take me forever because my thread is so long. Is that a regular? Nope. Somehow I made a loop. And a knot. So if you came here for the struggle, you're in the right place. Oh, anyway, the dragonflies I put on with a stencil and I pounced on with chalk. I don't think I finished that thought. Okay, so here's my blanket stitch. I just got a chalk pouncy thing. And then it says, before making the next blanket stitch, pass the needle under the loop of the blanket stitch, working and a working thread and make a knot. So if I go that way, maybe my blanket stitch, no, she came up through that. Maybe it goes no, it goes, okay, I'll turn this around so I can, you know what, I'll turn the paper around. Okay. I should have shortened this. This is going to be the bane of my existence for a few minutes. Okay. So I have my blanket stitch. My thread comes up this way. She goes under this, over the top, and around like that. And then gently makes a knot. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Now I'm going to be right back. I think I'm going to put this in a hoop. Just a minute. Okay, I think that if I put this in a hoop, I will have more success. That's my story. Sticking to it. I'll put this on the bottom for now because I'm working on that edge. I might have to wash that one off and redo it. I was playing with wash off this one. I was playing with the chalk and my stencils to see how it'd work. Okay. Fold, 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 and clip, and clip. Okay, scroll over there. Let's try again. So, blanket stitch, tangles, because of course, that's what I get for working with an obnoxious piece. I could chop it down under this, over the top and around, but I will not chop it down. Oops, that was not it. Round 2. I undid my stitch rather than make a knot. Oh, now I have a knot though. Intentionally or not, I have a knot, and it's to everything. I don't think it's correct, but I'm going to leave it because it's a knot. I don't know if this hoop is better, other than it's holding everything out of my way. We'll see how it goes. I might end up losing the hoop. Okay. I'm off the top. I go under and around, and that's supposed to make a knot. Oh, success. Tightened up a little bit earlier than I wanted it to. That's okay. So I'm going to watch one of my granddaughters because she's a softball player and they have all-stars right now. They played last night and did not do very well, but we live in a small rural town and we were playing a bigger city town. So unsurprising that they didn't do well. I do not know who they are playing tonight. I don't have a stake in it, whether or not they win or lose. Of course, you always want your grandkids to do well. But if they win, she misses out on, her and her dad miss out on what the rest of the family is doing this weekend, going to a graduation party for her sister. But then she gets to play more. If you're a softball player, I would imagine that wanting to play more would be pretty important. But I just go to support because that is what grandparents do. I think it's important that we support our kids and our grandkids in their endeavors if it is within our power to do so. I wish that I need to find out if there's any, like, I belong to the Embroidery Guild of America or whatever they're called, Embroidery Guild Association. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. And I wonder if there are, I know there's a chapter like an hour north of me. I don't believe there's a chapter in my area. But I wonder if there's any members at large in my area. Like somebody I could be like, hey, want to get together and show me what I'm doing wrong? Or show me how to do it better. Not necessarily wrong, just not great. But okay, not unhappy with that. It's getting shorter as it goes, and I'm definitely rubbing off my dragonflies. I think that I should go over them, trace over them with my pen. So I'm going to pause for now, and I'll come back with an update when I have more. Back again with a bit more of an update on my slow stitch scroll. I finished this piece, which will go in the next section. When I finish this section, I just did a sashiko swirl with a whip stitch. So running stitch with a sashiko template with a whip stitch. Anybody have any idea as to how you can do this where it lays down flat? That would be fabulous. That's one thing I need to learn. Another thing I need to learn is how to make more consistent chain stitches. I did find this vise in my stained glass room. I knew I had it. I saw somebody else using one just like it or very similar, and I thought, what a great idea. So I went and grabbed it, and it is a great idea. I can turn it in pretty much any direction I want to work on something, which I really appreciate. So what I've decided to do on this section, which was supposed to be dragonflies, which you probably heard at the beginning of the video, is that because I was struggling with the whole dragonfly thing, I decided to just practice some chain stitch. I did a little bit of blanket stitch around the side. If I'm repeating myself, I apologize. I did not go back and watch what I had previously recorded. It has been a little while. But I did a little blanket stitch on the side, and now I'm just doing a spiral of chain stitch, which are horribly inconsistent in size, horribly inconsistent in how far apart they are. Like you can see, I'm like a drunken sailor over here. Must have been a good night. Or whatever just happened right there. This thread, even though it's pretty, was not a good choice. And I will show you why. It is actually 4 strands. And I should have split it into 4 strands, or taken it apart and put it back together. I don't know if that would have helped me or not, but it gets rather fiddly, especially toward the end. So what I did this last time is, as soon as it started getting fiddly, I just chopped it off, and then I'll use those pieces as individual strands, and that will be better. So this has been a good practice, I think, for me, in learning to do the chain stitch. One of the things that I learned is how to stop and start your thread, which is not something that I have found in a book yet. I have a whole bunch of books on embroidery, and of course, I've not read them all. I need to read the sections that are not just the stitches. Read the parts in the beginning where they like introduce stuff. Maybe I would get better instructions on stuff. But I went to Facebook and I said, how do you start and stop stitches, like the blanket stitch or the chain stitch? And a couple of people obviously have been stitching since before they were born. Didn't understand my question. And it's really hard to read stuff because you don't know how they said it. So they say, I don't understand your question, and you're like, get defensive or not, whatever mood you're in that day for taking it. It's like, well, how'd you not understand my question? Like 5 other people did. So I showed pictures of a book, and I asked again, how do you start and stop stitches? And I actually got a couple people that took the time to give me really good answers or offered me videos that showed it, which I really appreciated. A shout out to the people who teach and don't just comment, because some of us have not been doing this for a bazillion years. I have to do something different here because that is not, it's not working for me. Sorry if you can't see it as well. It was too difficult. Anyway, some people just comment to comment, and I no judgment. You want to comment, but sometimes when someone is asking for advice, it's nice if you're actually helpful rather than not contributing. I don't think I was the only one that was struggling with that concept. I have only been doing embroidery since January of 2025. It is now halfway through June of 2025, and I have learned a lot. But I have not learned it all, and things like starting and stopping stitches was something that I had not learned yet, and I was trying to figure it out for myself. And again, I really appreciate the people who took the time to give a good answer. So, what are those answers? One of the answers is, don't stop here. So right here, I've just completed an entire stitch. One of the gals actually said to stop at this point. And she said to pin the stitch. So you just have this loop, and then you bring your new thread, you get your new thread on your needle, and bring it up, and then finish that stitch, and then go finish off that thread in the back. And that works really well for me. I like that. I don't pin it, I just leave it big and loose like that while I get my next thread going. That was really helpful to me. For the chain stitch, other people gave me advice on how to do your thread in the back with the waist knot and with the tiny little stitches that you do and then you cut off the knot. But this is obviously not going to cover those up, and I couldn't possibly predict where my stitches were going to be able to cover those up. Also, I don't care what the back of this looks like. I'll show it to you in a second. It's rather comical, actually. It's a train wreck. Oh, too much sun. Too much window, I guess. Right here, I obviously was not paying attention to whatever was going on the back of my work. And while I can't really, it doesn't want to show up because it's white on white, I got the biggest ball of gobbledygook right there. I have another one right here. I have no idea. And then I have all my knots. But it's the back of my work, and I'm okay with that because I can come back and refer to this and learn something from it, I think. I hope. Who knows? Maybe I can't. But what I still have not figured out and did not get a good answer on is how to start and stop a blanket stitch without ending up with extra stuff. An extra bar, an extra something when going over the edge. And I have not figured that one out yet. Still going to have to research that one more or look into it more or something. But that's okay. So I have no idea how long this video is going to be because I don't know how. I think I've already recorded 2 sections for it. And so I am going to pause this video and finish up this section of chain stitch, and then I will either come back at that point and attach this to the next section, which was supposed to be something completely different and isn't going to be now, or I will come back when I'm completely done with this section and the next section and just show what I've done, and then I can finish up the video because I suspect it's probably rather long. I don't know. But anyway, I'll be back. I'm looking at it. Looks like the whole thing is off to one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's because I have one more on this side so far than I do on that side. I like this. I wish it were neater or more even. I would like to do it again in the future and maybe put on a grid so that I could start and stop my chains in the same place and make my lines even. Like this loop is ginormous. Also on the corners, I should have done something. I should have tacked those down and then kept going, but whatever. This one is ginormous, but then these are tiny. So some grid lines would have been helpful to me because obviously I don't have my 10,000 hours of stitching in or my 10,000 stitches, and I need some practice. But it's okay. I'll be back instantly for you with the finished product. Okay. I have finished my next 2 spots on my sew stitch roll. So here is my chain stitch. Obviously I need more practice on that. I need more practice on my blanket stitch that's wild and crazy and all over the place. I don't know how to start and stop and make it look consistent. I don't know how to turn corners. Things to learn. And then this is my sashiko, I'm not sure how to say that, sashiko spiral that I whip stitched my running stitch, and then I just sewed it on with what I believe is a buttonhole stitch, basically a teeny tiny blanket stitch. I'm not sure the difference between the 2 of them, but so here's my scroll so far. I haven't done very much. In this next section, I will either be practicing a stitch that I am struggling with. It is, actually I don't know what it's called. I don't have it with me. Anyway, practicing a stitch that I'm struggling with, or doing another sashiko, I don't know, square. So I have some more. Ooh, I have a needle in there. That's not cool. I have some more fabric that I picked out. These are just samples that I got in the mail. And then I have my templates that I photocopied on a paper with a green background so that I could see them, and then I photocopied them onto the sticky water soluble. This one printed like this, and I don't think I'm going to fix it. I think I'm just going to stitch something else in there. So I need to decide which one goes on which, and then that'll be next. I did go back. It was really light. You can see the printer did it really light. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of... I went back and drew over it in pencil. Oh, look at this. I missed a spot. How funny. Anyway, so either one of these will be next, or the stitch that I'm struggling with, I can't remember the name of, that I have to go look. It's a braided something. I don't know yet, but I'm leaving to go camping in a couple of days, and so I was thinking maybe I'll take this with me because it's small and easy to transport, or take something else. I don't know. Anyway, to update on my slow stitch scroll. Thanks for watching.